Good morning. We're here at Everyday Cafe with Sydney and Cameron to talk about the National Panhellenic Council. So I know that we spoke a little bit, but tell me a little bit about your opportunities after graduation, because you're both seniors. What's after graduation?
I'm going to work with PNC's internal audit department,
Okay.
so I'll be in Pittsburgh still.
You're staying in Pittsburgh, okay.
Yeah, like I don't mind doing the internal audit, but I don't know, I just kind of want to, I didn't like apply for any jobs because I got my job during the summertime.
Yeah.
It's like good and bad.
Yeah, it's a good anchor, and you have all the time in the world to figure out the next step.
Come to New York.
I was just gonna say that.
No, I hate New York. That's
You
not
hate
my
New
vibe
York?
at all.
I actually don't like New York either. I'm sorry. I don't.
Like when I
I'm a little
go,
nervous.
when I'm in New York City, I get like really anxious.
I'm from New York City, but from Staten Island, so one of the boroughs, and I have to tell you that New York City is one of my favorite and most wonderful places in the world, but it is a bit overwhelming even to me. So tell me what you guys are planning, because I know that you have some planning going on for some events and a big event coming up in the spring. So tell me a little bit about it.
So the National Panhellenic Council is a group of historically Black Greek-lettered organizations. So there are 9, what we call like the Divine 9 organizations that are, within the National Panhellenic Council. And me and Kim are very fortunate to be a part of 2 of those organizations on our campus.
Yeah, so on February 26th, we're actually planning our Steel City Step Show. It's an annual step show that the Divine 9 hosts at Pitt every year.
Awesome. Will you guys be performing?
Yes, we both will.
It'll be my second victory, so you know.
We'll see. We'll see.
We're really excited.
Tell me about the NPHC plot, about the planning for it, and then having it come to fruition while you're here as students. How does that make you feel? What do you think about it?
Yeah, so the plot was a lot of years in the making before I became a member of one of these organizations, or the NPHC, but it's just really remarkable to have that physically shown on the campus and just a symbol for, all of the Black students to come, whether they're Greek or not, but just to know that there's so much history for Black students at Pitt.
Like, I've had the opportunity to meet older alphas, especially brothers from the Omicron chapter, bros that crossed in the 90s, or not 90s, 80s, 70s and stuff, but
We're going way back.
Yeah, we're going way back, like, and I'm talking to these brothers every day, these guys are 60, 70, calling me every day, like asking me stuff about the plots and stuff. So it was nice to really engage with them and just to like get to know them better.
So what do you think Pitt can do to help continue to support NPHC?
I feel like, one thing that I saw as a business major when I came in, they're right now in our MPHC, there are only 16 of us, and just kind of seeing support planning like our major events, especially because there's stuff that unites the entire Pitt community, and not just University of Pittsburgh, but the entire Pittsburgh community is united at stuff like Steel City. So just making sure that we can have support at events like that. So.
That makes sense to me.
It highlights Black culture in Pitt, and I feel like there aren't a lot of events that highlight the Divine 9 in Pitt also, so this covers kind of both of them.
So Cam is going to be defending his title. You're a newcomer.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I feel good. I do think that we're going to beat them. I know they have. No, definitely some good rivalry. Like we said, we had the yard show, so we kind of got a sneak peek. Just building off of Cam, I think I'm also, of course, nervous. As much as we both probably are confident in our shows, it is nerve-wracking to go up there, and we know all of the organizations put on a great show. Like, we've all been practicing, putting in the hours, and so everybody's going to do incredible. But also just the history of it. This is our 24th annual show, and so knowing that people before us have put on incredible shows and wanting to live up to that standard as well,
So speaking of students that come after us, you had joined just last year, right? And you're 2 years into your Greek affiliation. What would you say to first-year students who are coming in, particularly our Black students, about joining one of the Divine 9 that we have at Pitt?
Yeah, the first thing I would always say is do some research. That's something I never did. And it wasn't bad for me, but it definitely helps. You want to know what organization you're joining, what are the, principles and morals that they hold dear to them, and also the type of people, you know what I'm saying? Because why do you want to join these people? What do they stand for that you agree with?
I think I echo everything that Cam said, just really getting to know, the people, what you want to do and why you want to do it. And then also I think realizing ways that you can add to the organization. I think it's there is a lot about the organizations that help mold us into people, but it's also what we can bring to it. And so thinking about what are the skills that you can bring and how do you think you can better the organization, I think is always good to think about.
That's awesome.
Are there any initiatives or anything that you are in the works of doing or just have thought about to help support like Black students or NPHC or any, I don't know, any further conversation and ways that we can sort of support each other in like these roles?
Yeah, I think for sure. So I'd say I'm at the early stages. Pitt isn't, and Student Affairs certainly isn't, right? Student Affairs has thought about adding positions to our CCLD area so that we can have more folks working with our students of color and our LGBTQIA students to help with the belonging and inclusion at Pitt. So I think those pieces are underway. For me, I think I'm looking at all of the areas, thinking about fraternity and sorority life and how can we continue to support them and grow that area. So I hope within the next year that we'll be able to have some outcomes that we can point to say here's what we've done or here's what we're about to do and here's our goals. But I would say that we're definitely committed to growing a lot of the areas that support our students of color and particularly our Greek life.
Good, thank you. I think the biggest thing we can ask for is just support. So, of course, having this conversation is a step along the way and just spreading the word for the STEP show. We really appreciate it. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.